Did you know that the ancient Greeks shipped characters from their own mythology and argued about it in serious philosophical texts? I'm going to tell you about the oldest, probably the oldest fan fiction debate of all time, and that is Achilles and Patroclus and what is the nature of their relationship. So Achilles and Patroclus, characters in Homer's Iliad, they have a close thing. You have Patroclus sleeping in Achilles' tent, Achilles serenading him. And of course, you have the tremendous grief Achilles experiences when Patroclus dies, ripping out his hair, exacting vengeance. Obviously, between them, there was some kind of immense love. So the Trojan War is happening sometime in the Bronze Age, maybe like 1100s BC. And then the Iliad is composed much later in like the 800s BC. And then we get to classical Athens. 400s BC. And this is where we really get fun sources on the arguments going on about the nature of the Achilles-Patroclus relationship. In classical Athens, they had pederasty. So you'd have like an older man with a younger man. The older man is the Erastes, or the lover. The younger is the Eromenos, or the beloved. One could, to simplify the point for a modern audience, refer to the Erastes as the top and the Eromenos as the bottom. One could. So that was the cultural lens of your Plato, your Aeschylus, your Xenophon, who are the main players in the Patroclus fan fiction debate. They're projecting what their reality is onto the Trojan War, even though we have no idea if they had pederasty in the Trojan War. And let me make a very important point, which is that none of these guys really would call themselves gay. They're all like married to women, and then they have these affairs with men on the side. It was totally normal for men to have all kinds of relationships with both men and women. So like they could have a boyfriend, but not be gay. You would never define yourself in that way as people do today. But okay, back to the fan fiction debate. So Aeschylus, in his lost tragedy, The Myrmidons, talks all about a very romantic relationship between Achilles and Patroclus with, and this is the main point, that Patroclus is the Eromenos and Achilles is the Erastes. Now Plato comes along in his Symposium, has a big problem with it. He has the character of Phaedrus make a whole point of refuting Aeschylus, saying Aeschylus is absolutely insane for saying that Achilles is the Erastes and Patroclus is the Eromenos, when Homer says over and over again that Achilles is younger and better looking, which is what the Eromenos is. Achilles is the best looking guy there, so of course he has to be the better looking one, so of course he has to be the Eromenos. That's all well and good, but the funniest part of this is in Xenophon's Symposium. He's like, no, they're just friends. Xenophon has Socrates say they're just friends, so that's like really serious. Now with Plato and Aeschylus, Aeschylus died about 30 years before Plato was born, so they couldn't argue about this in person. But gosh, I'd really love to know how Plato and Xenophon felt about each other. It's obvious Plato won. Gosh, can you just imagine those two just going at it over a ship, over a Trojan War ship? Argue amongst yourselves. Were Achilles and Patroclus lovers or were they just friends? We think the movie Troy got it right, and they're cousins.